Hi. Right. Yeah, I've got some persecution news. So as you can imagine, it's not good. Although there is the good news of Jesus, but you know what I mean. So this is from last week, although there are other reports, but this one I felt was, this one was more comprehensive, as in it gave more pertinent details. So let's have a look. Churches and homes are burned and many Christians displaced in the latest attack. And of course, it's not the latest attack, but I'm letting you know. So as of the 17th of this month, August 2023, in Pakistan, according to International Christian Concern, you can find them at persecution.org, and they're a trusted Christian source of persecution news. Several Christian communities, including dozens of churches and homes, were attacked on Wednesday by angry mobs that rampaged through Faisalabad after accusing two teenagers of allegedly desecrating the Quran. So again, like I've mentioned previously, but blasphemy technically is like the Lord's name in vain, and casting aspersions on the Lord, insults to the Lord. So again, the Quran, even in Islamic academia, is not God. Muhammad is not God, allegedly. So I don't know why. But anyway, desecrating the Quran is now deemed by the mob, at least, as blasphemy. So police arrested more than 100 Muslims for attacking the Christian neighbourhoods, burning churches, homes and vehicles. So I mean, in that respect, there's one up on Nigeria, for example, where you never hear that. The violence took place in Jaranwala, in the district of Faisalabad in Punjab province. The accusations of blasphemy against the teenagers, can you imagine the terror and the teenagers? I don't know if you know any teenagers, just call them to mind, like family, nieces, nephews, maybe you are a teenager, like hundreds of places being set on fire, homes attacked, churches attacked. Like, what's it got to do with the hierarchy of the church? Anywho, sorry, I digress. These accusations of blasphemy against these teenagers riled, it says here, radical Muslims, who in turn targeted, without any logical step in between, just Christians in general, causing many families to flee for their lives. That's not like any kind of hyperbole, really is for their lives. The attackers accused the teens of tearing out pages from a Quran, throwing them on the ground and writing insulting remarks on other pages. Christian leaders and others said it was a false accusation. So, to be brutally honest, even if it's a true accusation, chill out, Pakistan. Where is your shame? And if it's false, it's even more duplicitous and Machiavellian and dark. I don't know how much darker we want it. We don't want it. But either way, it's not good. The Christian leaders have said that it's a false accusation. Obviously, nowadays, with popular culture as it is, you would think that there would be some footage of these pages on the floor, of these graffiti, some visual evidence, which, as far as I'm aware, we don't, nobody seems to have. So the mobs have burned different settlements of Christians, said a local International Christian Concern staff who visited the area but was turned away. It's not just a few churches or the houses of the accused. The condition here is worse. What we see in the media does not come close to reflecting the damage that has been done. Police and rangers are all over the place and blocked the area so that people can't see the damage. I'll just leave you with that one. Witnesses said that news of the alleged blasphemy spread like fire. I don't know if they meant to use that analogy, in the city and surrounding areas. One man entered a mosque and in a very violent speech said they meaning the Muslims present, I guess, or in general, should respond and, I'm going to pause again and interrupt my own self here, respond and attack the perpetrators, the children, the teenagers. So can you just imagine for 1 second anyone going into a church and saying, right, we've had a slap on one cheek as it were, or we've been, nothing about we've had our churches and houses burnt and killed in certain parts. No, we're talking about someone's ripped some pages out of the Bible, Someone's done something, someone's done anything, to be fair. And I know what we're going to do. In God's house, we're going to discuss taking vengeance, like, for ourselves. Like, it just doesn't compute. So thousands of Muslims came with batons, sticks and steel rods, just in case the sticks broke, I guess, to attack the Christian houses and churches, again, over an alleged false accusation and an alleged blaspheming of a book by two human beings who were yet to reach adulthood. So nearly 30 churches were attacked, like 30, and they would obviously be like the centre of worship for countless other like Christians. So they're the hub. So 30. I don't know if, like, I don't know where you live, obviously, but if you're in a like a Christianized country or a Christian country, like, just stop and take stock of your local area. Like, maybe you know of 5 churches that are on your way to work or something. Like 30 churches, basically, were attacked. This is unreal. And at least 10 of those 30 were, wait for it, set on fire. That's right. Oh, it's, I wish it was unbelievable. Like, so in addition, about 50 homes were ransacked, hundreds of Bibles and Christian literature was burned. But Allah wrote the Bible, I hear you scream. Revealed it, sorry. I'm not sure if he can write with the 2 right hands, whatever. So, yeah, hundreds of Bibles and Christian literature was burned and thousands of people were displaced from their homes, making them easier to find for the mob when they put them in the little camps. The Christian families have long been a part of the community, living peacefully, no way, an actual religion of peace, and harmoniously with their neighbours of different faiths. The blasphemy allegations, however, triggered a wave of discrimination and violence, and I would add that Satan also triggered this because he's big in the game with mobs. So this incident not only highlights the vulnerability of religious minorities in Pakistan, I can't tell you. It's a death sentence, by the way. Yeah, it's the death sentence. Like, being convicted of blasphemy, I think it's 29J, or there's a certain subsection of the blasphemy laws that has a compulsory, mandatory death sentence. So let that one settle in as well. So it's not just like in the witch trials when someone says, she hexed my cattle or something. It's like there are, I mean, obviously, yeah, that was capital punishment, but this is mandatory in law in an alleged, like, stable regime. So it not only highlights the vulnerability of religious minorities in Pakistan, who, like, you know, more than 1,000 Christian girls and Hindu girls also are kidnapped every single year in Pakistan, raped and kept prisoner. What I mean to say is married. But they are forcibly taken by, like, sometimes by, you know, under the threat of a gun in broad daylight. It also does raise concerns, I read here, about the misuse of the blasphemy laws. It doesn't raise these concerns. These concerns are, woohoo, they're there in Pakistan. Pakistan's constitutional endorsement of Islam and the blasphemy laws makes it far, far, far easier for Christians to be imprisoned or killed, and of course for there to be no like legal ramifications for the accuser. Like, basically, you can have someone killed by the state. These laws were introduced in the 1980s, I think modified, and have been controversial, to say the least. Whilst the laws were meant to protect religious sentiments, because of course they're supposed to protect Christians as well, like from, you know, blasphemy against God. I don't agree with blasphemy laws, but they are supposed to be across the board. I don't think that's ever happened, by the way. They've often been misused. I think that's the only way they can be utilised, to settle personal scores, to incite violence and target Christians and minority communities. Scores and scores and countless stories of, you know, Christians being owed money by Muslims, and then all of a sudden they're in prison, or worse. So blasphemy allegations carry severe penalties, I read here, including imprisonment and the death penalty. These laws, unfortunately, have created an environment of fear and discrimination for Christians. I feel like that was already there, to be fair, although it's been exacerbated, like, in terms of the finality of what your neighbour can do, as it were. The incident in Faisalabad is not isolated, but rather a manifestation of the growing religious intolerance and violence in Pakistan. I can't stress this enough. Pakistan is up there, like for real. It's in the top 10 always, it seems. By top 10, I mean open doors, like the top 10 of the top 50 countries where confessing Christ can cause you some real terminal, immediate problems. So extremist ideologies and sectarian tensions also have fueled a climate of hatred. Also, Jesus said so. It makes basically religious minorities other than Christians also vulnerable to persecution, and Christians are ostracised and violently attacked and discriminated against. So lastly, in last year, the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, the USCIRF, recommended that Pakistan be designated a country of particular concern. So not a country for concern, a country of particular concern for integrating integrating Islamic fundamentalism into official government policies and hindering religious freedoms. You of course may remember, was it Myra Shabazz? It's awful, I read so many of these stories. There was a young girl who was 14, was taken at gunpoint in broad daylight by her future husband. She was converted. Sorry, I'm not laughing, it's just the paucity of the evidence that he brought to court. Her mother was in the court. She had a heart attack from the stress, I imagine, with evidence that her daughter was 13 or 14 at that time. And basically his defence was, no, she was 18 when I kidnapped her. And even though the lower court sent her to a women's refuge, the young lady, the child, the higher court, I think it was Islamabad, basically overturned that and sent her back to her kidnapper/husband. So, in short, to summarise, please do pray for Pakistan. None of this is new to me. I hope it's new to you. It can be really depressing. But the hope we have is in Christ. Just because these things are happening in no way negates his presence and sovereignty over the situation. I want to stress that because people often say to me, oh, but why don't Christians do something? And we do something, but the thing we must do first and foremost is pray. Because if we're trying to like do stuff, proactive stuff, which is fine, but like just accidentally leaving out the creator of all things and the sustainer and like, you know, finisher of our faith, then something's gone awfully wrong. So please do pray for Pakistan. As I said, I will, maybe it'll be on my channel, maybe it'll be on Jason, like Soko, but the Persecutor of the Year Awards is stunning, like in its shock value. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up. I'm happy to be back. Let's see how long that lasts. All right, God bless. Ciao, ciao, and I'll see you soon. Subscribe, like, share, you know, all the good stuff. Bye-bye.